Arknights Endfield closed beta test second iteration is right around the corner and is going to take place on November 28th, so pretty much soon. Developers released a full list of different changes, what kind of improvements they were doing in terms of this game, what are we going to receive during this iteration of CBT. So I want to go through it and discuss with you what should you expect from it, what to be kind of prepared, what do you want to test for yourself, and how it's going to look like. Also, feel free to share your thoughts about it, because this is probably one of the most interesting projects in the upcoming future, and I'm really excited about it. I'm really waiting. There are a lot of discussions going on about it. Discord is alive and so on and so forth. So share your opinions. Are you happy about certain parts specifically? Are you excited or maybe disappointed about some stuff? Feel free to write it. Also, a quick reminder about my Discord server. The link is going to be in a pinned comment, so if you wanna stay updated with the Arknights Endfield content, there is a separate chat, there is a separate section, so you just need to get roll for Arknights Endfield. For any discussions, also you're welcome. Now to the main topic of this video. So in developer notes, as you can see, it's a pretty huge one list of different improvements. I'm going to touch the most important aspects. So first of all, we're going to start with Factory, and developers, they are paying quite a lot of attention to this topic. This is going to be a really major part of this game. Basically, this is the area on which you're able to work on yourself, design it on your own, you're able to build different buildings, you're able to produce certain resources, and the way how it's going to be work and what kind of changes we're going to receive here in comparison to what it was before is going to be more diverse and also more immersive in terms of different areas which we're going to have in this game. Basically, each area specifically with different environment is going to change the look of your factory, is going to provide you with different structures which you're going to be able to construct for yourself, and based of it, it might provide you with different materials and resources, again depending on areas, and you are able to consume these resources, these materials, for crafting different gears for your characters, producing certain mats, and so on and so forth. But in terms of gears, they're going to be different based on areas which you're going to have. They're also speaking about certain improvements in terms of outpost management, in terms of different, let's say, currency which you will be able to obtain during working with your constructions, and I believe you will be able to kinda sell certain stuff, buy certain stuff from, let's say, like a regional market or something like that. That's my understanding. Like, this is a cool aspect because you're basically able to manage the economical aspect of your account, of your game, and go really deep if you want to in terms of the factory aspect. It's going to be, once again, a major part of it, and also progressing on different regions, like the regional progression and development is going to provide you with different benefits which you're going to receive, different prizes, and so on and so forth. That's pretty much clear. About blueprints, I already been saying about it, so yeah, they're adding them. Some people are disappointed, some people are happy. In my opinion, it's not a bad thing, because it's not like something mandatory to use. Maybe like it's going to stop any people from thinking about different processes, but hey, even those who are looking for guides in terms of factories, they are looking for a complete answer. So I don't see any problems if players are going to share with each other with these blueprints. They're going just to help each other. And this is a cool aspect in terms of your audience management, so it's not a bad thing, and again, it's going to make life easier for those people who are not familiar with this system, or they don't have, for example, time to deal with it properly, like some other players. The other aspects to mention here, that once again, each player is able to create different blueprints on themselves, share among themselves. And for the new area which we're going to receive during this iteration of the beta test, they're going to again add different new elements in terms of different structures. It's going to be more like water related area, fluid related, so we're going to see it visually, and this is going to make sense. And again, materials which we're going to receive, they're going to be unique for this specific area, which makes it cool aspect. In terms of probably farming, it might be overwhelming if it's going to have certain PvP aspects, which I doubt. I don't think they were like cases about it. Maybe I missed something. Maybe it's going to be added later on. I'm not sure. But yeah, like it's going to really depend on how they are going to manage it. If it's going to be like some kind of unstoppable grinding, well, on one hand it's a little bit bad. On the other hand, having a lot of variety and different options for your specific characters, maybe for one of them these gears from this area is going to fit better and you're going to receive the most benefit. Variety isn't that bad in this case. About the depot bus optimization, so from what I understand, this is like a storage a certain way. From factory you're going to produce certain materials, certain resources, and you're able to collect them. Again, they're speaking about the new area, and it's going to be easier to manage this depot bus on your own. The allocation of it is going to be like freely done in comparison to what it was before. Now, here is an interesting moment. They're speaking about added shared facilities. So basically, people are able to construct something, build something, and they are able to share with it with other players. So for example, different players on their own accounts, they will be able to see the product of work of different players, or this might help them to maybe manage something, optimize for themselves in terms of constructions and so on and so forth. This is an interesting one moment. They made a lot of different optimizations to make your life easier. So basically you're going to receive different tips and they're going to provide you an overview if something is going to work not properly, or maybe provide certain suggestions. And in general, this is not a bad thing, to be honest, because once again, not everyone is able to follow everything and understand from very beginning everything precisely. Some kind of guidances, tips and suggestions, I believe they're becoming more and more important later on. And also managing your factory is going to be easier in a construction mode. Let's say you'll be able to remove different lines, pipes, and locate them in the other place, for example. So they're optimizing this moment. Now we're going to speak about the combat system and what kind of improvements, changes do we have here, what to expect. So first of all, they were working on visual aspects, on animations. They were trying to make it smoother, they were trying to make it in a certain way flashy, more controllable, and also strategical at the same point. So what they're referring to here, the camera control, that's pretty much clear. The stagger mechanic, so basically you're going to see opponents, maybe some elite mobs or like heavy and difficult bosses who are going to hit harder in a certain position when they're going to be like more open to get like a critical hit. So you will be able to kind of deal a huge amount of damage at this period of time, at this window specifically, or maybe improve your strategies or even interrupt the attack from boss. In terms of optimizations, they are speaking here that you will be able to kind of adjust the control buttons for yourself specifically in a way how it's going to be convenient for you. Now here they're speaking about different unique mechanics of characters within the team based, for example, on elements that they're going to have based on their roles and so on and so forth, and different actions from your allies, from different characters, are going to have a certain impact. Maybe they're going to provide certain debuffs, maybe they're going to deal more damage in this specific way, and they were working about different combinations in terms of characters and how you will be able to optimize your team, let's say, for this or that boss. On one hand, it's an interesting one thing, because this adds like this specific strategical moment aspect, thinking about the best build in terms of your team for this or that area, for this or that mob, boss, whatever is going to be the case. On the other hand, it might be like a little bit of a problem if it's going to require you having really like all of the characters. And the dupe system, once again, the question about it, if it's going to require you to have multiple dupes on characters to work correctly, this might be an issue. But anyways, we'll see. I think they're working in terms of strategical aspects pretty much decent, and I wanna kind of touch it on my own and understand how it's going to work actually in real situations. About dodging, they're speaking about this moment. There was a lot of discussions about it, so they're making it in a way that you're able to do like 2 dodges in a row, and after that is going to be like a pause, like a break. You won't be able to spam dodges unstoppable, and it's going to consume certain amount of energy. There is a gap where you're able to use a perfect dodge, so whenever it's going to be the case, you're going to actually recover a certain amount of, let's say, energy, and in this case it's going to be easier to manage your character. They are also speaking about improvements in terms of teammates and AI control, so the immersive aspect, interaction between different characters, it's going to be more natural and more tactical in a certain way. This is a good one, I think. Overall, they're speaking about some tutorials and educational aspect of the game, so basically they're going to provide you with different tools which are going to help you with understanding of how this or that character is going to work, what kind of abilities they're going to have, and how to utilize it in your team correctly, as well as you will be able to see what other players, for example, using in their team specifically, what kind of combinations, compositions, how they utilize them, let's say. Now we're going to the next moment, and they're speaking here about stages and maps, basically in general, just to understand what kind of improvements they've done here. So the whole environment, the maps, and what kind of natural aspects you're going to have there, I don't know, animals, mobs, enemies, whatever is going to be the case, they are trying to make it richer, they're trying to make it more interesting and again immersive for you to interact with. So they're speaking about adding different creatures and so on and so forth, improvements in general in terms of arts and visual aspects. They did a huge work here, and I believe we can see how it's been done really, and during the CBT we'll be able to see it on our own. And I really like this aspect that after the first one CBT, they're not just, you know, releasing the game maybe unpolished. They decided to take their time and release the second CBT with certain improvements, with certain changes that they were working on, for us to try this out on ourselves and see how it's actually working right now, if it's needed to do some additional polishing actions or not, or is it already a prepared and ready product for release. This is not a bad thing. Here they're speaking about the refinements for story and narrative performance. They're actually paying attention to this aspect, and for this game specifically, I have a feeling that this is going to be an interesting one experience to try the story that this game is going to provide you. Well, maybe for the Western audience, for different gacha games, the story aspect isn't that important and they're just going to skip it. But me personally, I am planning to enjoy this game. I have a feeling that this game is going to be about enjoying the process, enjoying the world, the story, whatever is going to be the case. And they're speaking that they're adding like different visual aspects, 3D modeling, different cutscenes. They are trying to make interactions of different characters more alive and interesting. Hopefully the story aspect, the storyline, is going to be not just like a flat one and usual as for many other games which are just repeating each other, but it's going to be really something unique, special and interesting to have a look at. Me personally, I'm waiting for it to discover for myself. I think it might be really interesting. So during this CBT, they're going to share with us a certain part of the story related to the area, the new area which they were speaking about, providing us, which is called Wooling. So we're going to see what kind of job they have done there, and as well they're trying to improve for future as well the narrative performance and delivering more immersive audio visual experience. I like it. Anyways, next moment is going to be about the other systems and features in the game, what they've done. So basically this is going to be aspect about showing off a little bit with your friends or maybe other players. So basically there's going to be like a base which you are able to optimize for yourself. You will be able to share different achievements that you're going to receive, maybe weapons or something else, maybe some rare, I don't know, discoveries that you've done in this game, or some hidden features, who knows, it might be the case. And you will be able to kind of share with others what you've done. It's like cosmetical aspects for sure, but some people might find this interesting, so it's totally not a bad thing. There again, speaking about different optimizations in terms of working with maps and so on and so forth, switching of administrator form for your convenience if you want to play male or female character, and controller mode optimization, like they're speaking here specifically in terms of using controller for their game, which I believe is a normal practice later on in terms of different games for your convenience, and especially for this game it shouldn't be like under any questions whatsoever. It's a huge project, cross-platform, so it's supposed to be like that. About cross-platform optimization, yeah, so here at the moment about the second closed beta, you're basically able to participate in it from different platforms, from PC and also PlayStation, and also from mobile devices. So if you're applying for a CBT, you can provide your model of a PC, or I don't know how it's looking like from PlayStation, but model of your mobile device as well. And if you're willing to participate from two different devices, in this case you will have access to your, let's say, CBT account from both of them, and you again will be able to try out how it's actually going to work from your mobile device. Anyways, recommendations for different devices, they're provided on the website, so I can highly suggest you to check this out, because obviously the game is kind of decent, so old models, they're not going to be really a good fit for it. You need to pay attention to this. And localization experience, basically they're speaking about making it a broader version of a game, doing certain optimizations in terms of translations, how they're going to change the textual aspect of different parts of the game, how they're working on refining it and improving for different languages. And this is a nice one moment, quite honestly. Like on release of different games, they might have like launch problems. It's a fine thing, but in certain games where translations and understanding of different processes, how they're going to work, having with different mistranslations, misinterpretations, this might be a little bit of a painful moment. So it's good to understand that they're paying attention to it. Well, in general, I believe we discussed the most important aspects which to expect during this CBT, second iteration, once again taking place on 28th of November. Really excited about it, really waiting for it, hope that I'm going to receive access and provide more content and videos about the game. I'm pretty much waiting for it, really soon. So with that being said, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and see you guys in the next one. Take care.